Hey y'all, welcome back to a new video. Today is going to be decluttering and organizing, but not just any type of decluttering and organizing video. I'm actually going to share with you the entire process of me decluttering my whole house in like a couple weeks time, and how I did it, the different methods I tried, what I learned, what I plan to do moving forward. And I also want to talk about overconsumption, because that is a big key point in all of this that I learned about myself, about my family, and you know, some things I learned about our home too that are really holding us back from reaching that full potential of like having a functional home. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're actually going to be talking about the different methods first that I tried and which one I personally like better and why. All right, let's start off with the very first method. This is the method that I actually did in our kitchen specifically that sparked this entire series. I decided to do the pack it up method, basically where you get some boxes, you load up the entire space, clear it out completely, and then you can deep clean, declutter, and then reorganize with a fresh clean start. Now, this method is very extreme. I do realize that this is not going to work for everyone. However, this method I feel worked best for me, and the reason for that is because in the past, I would try to declutter or clean a specific area. And basically all I'm doing is just kind of moving and shifting things around, playing Tetris, if you will. And whenever you actually remove everything from a space, you get that mental clarity. You get to actually look around and say, hey, you know, would I rather the pots and pans be in this cabinet or the spatulas be over here in this drawer? You get the option to really play around with different layouts and figure out what works best for you and your family. So although this was a lot of work, packing everything up and unpacking it, it did allow me to have the most fresh, clean space moving forward. So I definitely recommend, especially if you're someone who already has a chaotic space, and by that I mean maybe most of your cabinets are full and unorganized and you're really wanting to freshen the entire space. If you are more organized, I'm going to recommend the second method, which we're going to get to in just a second, but this is perfect for those, in my opinion, who have like more ADHD, hyperactive personality types, really need to have just like an empty space to work with rather than trying to work around all the chaos around them. Even in this moment, I was still getting distracted, and you'll notice I kind of turn, walk around, and I'm like, what am I doing? But I just tried to keep in mind the goal is just to get everything out of this space, and then you can start thinking about where things need to go. So I didn't care if there was a mess in the boxes. I didn't care how I stacked things in the boxes. I just focused on throwing it in there and moving that box as far away from the kitchen as I possibly could get it. Now, ideally, I think it'd be really cool to pack up your whole house in a little bit more of an organized way if you have more time. Granted, I did all this in one day, but if you have more time to do the pack it up method, I would recommend going in like smaller boxes, do like all your forks, spatulas, and label it really well. That way, as you're living in this space, you can pull out of the boxes what you need daily. And then after like a month or so of living out of boxes, then you can actually see what you've actually been using and how much has been just taking up precious space in your kitchen. And without those things there, it just makes the whole space so much more functional and easier to manage and keep clean. That is one of the biggest takeaways from this entire process, is how much easier it is for me to clean and keep up versus how it used to be, which we're going to get all into that subject too, because I have a lot to say about that. Obviously, it hasn't been perfect because we're human, we live here, but it has been way different for sure. Now, deep cleaning here, as you can see, there's not as much going on in the kitchen right now. So this allows you that clean, free space to wipe everything down. You're not having to move stuff out of your way. This is like the perfect time to start scrubbing those cabinets down, getting all the grease off the backsplash, all the scrubbing and dusting and cleaning that you haven't done in a long time. This is your opportunity to do that. And when I tell you, it will feel, as weird as it is, we've lived here for a long time, doing this made me feel like I had just bought a new house. It genuinely felt like this is our new home. Like, I'm so excited to like unload and unpack my stuff. Like, I don't know what what it is like brain wise, but something about this just made me feel so excited to move into our house again. This method, although was extreme and took so much effort and time, I feel like it was the most successful for me because every single thing that I have in the kitchen now has a specific home. And that is something that we have never been able to achieve since living here. I think we have just changed so many things over the years. I've added a kitchen island, we've added the cabinets for the pantry, and things just kind of got shifted around and just kind of shoved to the back and moved over to this cabinet, moved over here. So I haven't really had the opportunity to completely empty it and then reload it again. But now I can confidently say everything has a home. The kitchen is cleaner than the day we bought this house, and it feels great. It was something that, I genuinely just had to say, you know what, enough's enough. I got to get this done. Not only for me, but for my family as well. So that way we live in a functional space. And at the end of the day, that's what this whole series was about. It wasn't about having a perfect Pinterest-worthy home. I didn't really care as much about, aesthetic as much as I just want it to be functional. So I did want to point that out. But there is actually multiple scientific studies that confirm cluttered homes, unorganized homes actually cause a lot of anxiety and stress. So if you can figure out how to eliminate that from your life, it's just one less thing you got to worry about. And I mean, who doesn't want to be less stressed? The next method is actually very similar to the pack it up method, but less extreme. So this is actually working in categories. It's still packing it up, but just working in smaller sections. Unlike the kitchen, where I emptied the entire space, started completely fresh, for the dining room in particular, I actually started with just the buffet cabinet first. I emptied that completely, worked on cleaning it out, organizing it, decluttering it, and then I moved on to more of the deep cleaning. I then went and pulled out the dining room set, got all the chairs shampooed. This was desperately needed. I cleaned like the chandelier, the window, took down the curtains. I just worked in sections instead of emptying the entire space altogether. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Not everyone has that luxury of having like extra rooms to put, their furniture in or boxes stacked up in. You could totally rent a moving truck or even a storage unit. But the goal was never to spend more money. The goal for really at the end of the day was to have this eye-opening experience at how much money we had wasted over the years, how much overconsumption we have fallen into, and really just have like a reset on our space, on our life. I think this is really important to do and just kind of self-reflect. But at the end of the day, no matter how you choose to declutter or what you choose to do for your home, whether it's messy, completely organized, it could be the most aesthetic, beautiful, Pinterest-worthy space, I think all of our goals as a mom are the same. The goal is to create a comfortable, loving home for our family. And for each of us, that goal looks a little different, and how we achieve that goal is going to be different. For me, I feel like creating a space that feels easy to maintain, that feels clean, organized, that is part of me showing that I love my family, that I love my space, and creating that loving home. So this is why it was really important to me to get this done. One of the greatest things about going through your home and really cleaning it and decluttering it is that you actually get like your creative wheels spinning again. For me, I have hit a little bit of a plateau. I don't know what happened, but I think for a while I was just kind of in survival mode and I couldn't really pinpoint what I wanted to do with my spaces. And y'all know I love decorating, especially on a budget. It's a huge passion of mine, but I would just look around at my house and think about all the clutter and I couldn't really see what I wanted to change. Once I started to get things under control, my creative wheel started spinning. And a huge thank you to Walmart for sponsoring today's video and helping make my living room transformation possible. Let me share with you what I did. If you've been around for a while, then you know I'm always looking for affordable pieces that not only look beautiful, but also work well for our family and our home. So I headed over to walmart.com and found a few pieces that completely transformed this space. Starting off with these Mainstays round arm accent chairs in the ivory linen fabric. I knew I really wanted to change out the seating for a while. Actually, as a matter of fact, Knox, the big boy right there, he actually chewed the armchair of my last chair when he was a puppy. So I really wanted new chairs, but I didn't want anything that felt bulky or overwhelming. And it is hard to find good chairs, but these were exactly what I was looking for. I love the clean lines, the neutral fabric, and they look so much more expensive than their price point, which is even better. And I do feel like it helps kind of balance out the room, and giving extra seating is always a bonus. Next up, I did add the Better Homes and Gardens Ezra coffee table. This is in the walnut finish. Now, I love the round coffee table I currently have, but it does sit a little high. It was actually just a really inexpensive DIY project that I did. So it was time to actually upgrade and really help this space flow overall. And I feel like the warm tone adds so much warmth and contrast. I love that this table also feels modern, but also timeless at the same time. I think it's perfect height as well, and I love that it's not like a solid piece. You can still see through it, allowing it to still make the living room feel nice and open. To finish everything off, I did add the My Texas House Nora outdoor area rug. And yes, you heard that right. This is an outdoor rug. However, it is perfect if you have pets in your home. It makes it really nice and convenient to pull it outside and be able to pressure wash it clean. So I really like that. And with it having a soft neutral color and a subtle pattern, I feel like it brightens the space, ties everything together, and makes the room feel really cozy and warm, but it's not too much. It's not way too much color or anything like that. So I feel like it really worked perfect in here, and y'all did not see that. Did you see the tag? It's still under there. I didn't notice it until after I watched this back, but I mean, look at it. It speaks for itself. And I really do feel like it was the last little finishing touch that this living room needed. It really needed a grounding piece, and this was definitely it. It's honestly amazing what a few affordable updates can do for a space, and adding these pieces completely changed the look and feel of our living room without requiring a huge major renovation or a huge budget. Everything feels brighter, more welcoming, and so much more functional for our family. If you're looking for affordable home finds to refresh your space for the summer, Walmart.com has so many great options, and the best part is everything can be delivered right to your door. I'll be sure to have all these items linked down below so you can check them out for yourself. Once again, thank you so much, Walmart, for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now that the living room is done, I'm not gonna lie to you, my plan to rip out the built-ins has kind of diminished a little bit. I don't know. I'm so indecisive. Part of me wants to rip out the built-ins and just try something new, but then now that the lights are in there, the new chairs, the rug, everything looks so cute. I'm like, I don't know, it kind of looks cozy. I'm kind of digging it. And I also love that I have a spot to put some of my favorite decor pieces. If I do get rid of those built-ins, I will have a console table to decorate, but that's it. Is that enough? Am I gonna regret it? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Or maybe should I just wait it out? Maybe just wait it out and see how I feel a month or two from now, because it's no rush. I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna be here for a long time, so I have plenty of time to make that decision. But let me know what you think of the built-ins and the fireplace now that I have it freshened up. If you could do that, I'd appreciate it. So going back to the next method, this is going cabinet by cabinet, drawer by drawer, working very, very small, basically only getting rid of 1 to 2 things at a time. So at this point, I want to mention this because I feel like this method only works if you already have somewhat of a clean, organized space. If you have a completely chaotic space like I did, there's no way to go cabinet by cabinet. It's you're not going to make any progress because there's just way too much stuff to get rid of. It's extreme, or don't even bother. Now, to me, that is a personal opinion, so just take that with a grain of salt. But I do think that if you are someone who has managed your things well, you have a lot of stuff, it needs to be gone through. However, it's pretty organized. Definitely recommend going through cabinet by cabinet, drawer by drawer. At the end of the day, this might be the best method for you only because it is the easiest out of all of them. And the greatest thing about the, smaller section working methods is you're not going to reach a decision fatigue that is going to make you start making, bad decisions. So for instance, during my process, it got to a point where there were some boxes that I didn't even know what was in it, and I was trash it. I don't have the energy anymore. I was past that point, and now I start to think to myself, what was in that box? And so now that I've calmed down and I'm not in that moment anymore, I'm oh gosh, what did I throw away? Not healthy at all. So save yourself from that. Now that my son's room is almost done, one thing that I ended up doing in here was actually refreshing the space the same way I did the living room. I really did start to feel my creative wheel spinning and getting excited about decorating again. It was something that I hadn't done in a while, so I was really proud to be able to redecorate his space, and I think it turned out so cute. It's a huge difference from what it was to what it is now. And a lot of the stuff was what was in his bedroom. So I actually worked on clearing all of the things out. And that was one thing I did want to say that I did right away, I tried really hard not to have things kind of lingering. As quickly as I could take it to donation or put it by the road, I did immediately. The reason I did that was because I am very much the type of person, I will go through a box. If I see it sitting there for too long, I'm like, ooh, what's in that? And I'll start pulling things back in the house. I've done this so many times with my clothing, which is why the clothing in my bedroom was one of the most extreme decluttering moments I think I've ever had. And this was the most embarrassing to post and share. It was really the most eye-opening, and I'm sharing it again because I genuinely feel like this changed everything. Everything. Out of all of the decluttering and cleaning I did, going through my closet was the biggest weight lifted off my shoulder, and I want to share everything that I learned about myself along the way, just talk about overconsumption and everything, and just things that I plan on doing moving forward to make sure that my closet and my drawers don't ever look like this again. Now, you may be wondering, well, how in the world did it get to this point? And the honest answer is it just did. I mean, I don't know. It just happened. Over time, I would buy new clothes. I am someone who, I'm not like really a huge fashion type of person either. I like what I like, and that's that. But I think there came a point in time where I was doing a lot of online ordering, and then I would order things, it would come in, and I loved it in that moment of ordering it, but when it came in, I didn't really like it, so I didn't return it. I just the return window ended. Or I would fluctuate weight. That was another big thing. I had a lot of different sizes of clothes. I had a lot of the same things because I'm a creature of habit. I love my leggings. I like my black tops. I love denim, jeans. So I had a lot of the same type of pants, just in like different variations of denim and like colors, I mean. So yeah, it didn't take long, and next thing you know, we had like an entire store of clothing in my closet, and it was not organized. So then what would happen, instead of me wearing the clothes that are in my closet, if we had an event or somewhere to go, I would order new things because I didn't have the mental capacity to deal with going and searching for something cute to wear, or the belt, the necklace, the jewelry in general to wear with it. I would just shut the closet door and buy new stuff. So on top of already having all the stuff in the closet, I'm now buying new stuff. I'm not managing the old stuff. And that, my friends, is how it got to this point. But one of the things I did realize as I was going through everything is that I really don't have that hard of a time getting rid of stuff. I'm actually not emotionally attached to things like I thought I was. I thought I was going to have a really hard time going through our house to this degree, but it actually was pretty easy. I don't mind, especially giving things away. If I have the opportunity to create a box for someone that I love or care about, or even if I don't know and I know that they're going to get it and they're going to get joy out of it, that makes me super happy. So it makes it super easy to get rid of things. And I think what really was hard for me was just the ultimate task at hand. It was actually going through everything individually was the hard part, not necessarily getting rid of the things. So it was just finding the energy to do this. And I will tell you, it's going to look, your house, if you decide to go through and declutter like I did, it's going to look worse before it looks better. That is for darn sure. I reached a point in time where I'm like, why did I do this? I kept telling my husband, like, why did I do this to myself? This is so bad. It's so hard. But it does, although it requires time, patience, and commitment, you are going to feel, oh gosh, I wish y'all could just like feel the way I feel when I open my closet now. Because it just, I'm so excited. I'm actually incredibly excited to get ready in the morning. I've been trying different styles that I've never tried before. I feel like I'm getting ready more because I can actually find the things that I like to wear and the things that fit me too. I'm not sorting through 15 different sizes of clothing to get to the size that I actually can fit in right now. There's just like so much less stuff to sort through now. So it's been a game changer. Now, I know I said like physically was the hard part, but I guess it was mental. I don't know if it was like physically I was tired. After you're sorting through this amount of clothes, your fingers are going to be sore, your back's going to hurt, your feet are going to hurt. You're going to want to give up. I think out of the physical and the mental was probably the hardest. So just try to mentally prepare yourself for a lot of decisions to be made if you have to. Even so something I did want to tell you. I almost forgot. So I was watching The Minimal Mom. I love her. She's very motivating. I feel like she's a lot more extreme than I would ever be, which I think that's probably why I'm interested. And I think people are interested in her methods because it is so extreme. It is so different. That's what makes it entertaining to watch. However, during her process of decluttering, she kept talking about a box that is basically, it's a box that you put stuff in, the maybe box, like a maybe later or something. You can sort through it later. So I wish I would have created a box like that. I did not. I felt like if I did not really want it right then in that moment and I was questioning it, it had to go. I do regret this a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little. I wish that I would have kept a maybe box only because now that my house is cleaned and organized and I have been experimenting with new styles again, and like one of my styles I wanted to share that I've been kind of leaning towards is like the Western boho kind of minimal look. I really love the chunky jewelry. I love the rings. I love, y'all know I love my boots. I like just like flowy tops. I just really love the Western boho style a lot. And now that I've been experimenting with that, a lot of stuff that I did get rid of would have been perfect for that style. But in the moment of decluttering, I wasn't considering that. I was just getting rid of things because I was trying to make room. I will tell you, I do plan on shopping. I know. After all this, girl, what? But I did want to tell you what the game plan is, because now that I've went through my closet, I realized a lot of the stuff that I kept was simply out of comfort. I was running out of clothes as I was decluttering, like getting rid of the things that I know for a fact I did not love. But the stuff that I was left with was all my similar comfort zone, the black tank tops, the athletic wear. I've had the same couple like cute dressy tops for a long time that I don't gravitate towards usually. And now that I've had a clean, fresh space to work with, it's made me want to explore a little bit more with different styles. And so with that being said, I do want to start purchasing more things that fit that style that I am, trying to experiment with. So the plan is to go shopping, get a couple pieces, but make sure that as I'm bringing in new stuff, I'm getting rid of the things that I don't gravitate towards anymore and pulling those out. So that way I'm keeping that inventory pretty low. But ultimately, after going through every room in our house, I will say every room taught me something different. Like for instance, our bathroom, it actually feels a lot more functional. It's easier to get ready in there. I also realized that we actually have a lot of storage. I just wasn't utilizing the storage properly. And I kept saying, I don't have big bathrooms. My bathroom is fine. I just needed to utilize the storage better. Our closet, I realized that I had a lot of stuff that I didn't really love, that I was holding on to out of a comfort zone, out of fear of not being able to afford clothes one day in my life. And that is not the way to live. You should never live your life in fear. You got to let that go sometimes. It's okay to have fears. I think it's normal, but it's not letting it consume you is the key. I also realized that my closet, while it, looks great, it could have better storage options. So that is something I want to work on. I actually want to add an additional rod above the two that I have on the back wall, and then maybe even add a nice little shelf above the actual closet system that I created. That way I can stack shoes a little bit better, and it'll free up some of the shelving so I can use those for like jeans and shorts and stuff instead. Ultimately, I will say decluttering revealed a lot of storage problems in our house. I will say also the kitchen, underneath the kitchen island, I have those nice big cabinets, but not enough shelving in there. So I would really love to start working on adding some shelving. We'll be working on that together in an upcoming video. I'm really looking forward to that because although I did declutter the kitchen well, it hasn't stayed that organized, specifically under the island. So I'm really excited to get that done so I can fix up the cabinets and everything will be a lot more functional. And being in a smaller house, y'all know we live in a 1,200 square foot home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with 0 linen closets, no pantry. We put in the pantry cabinets, which are very thin because we didn't have a whole lot of room. But being in a smaller home, every single inch matters. And if you don't have storage, you have to create it. You have to get really, really creative at times. and you'll start making storage where it does not belong. One of the things that I actually do is my broom, dustpan, and my Swiffer, I actually hide behind the curtains in the dining or in the kitchen because you can't tell that they're there because they hang like perfectly. So that is like one of the little storage solution I have found that works well for us. I utilize underneath our bed for storage. I actually keep a lot of our family photos under there. Extra, like I have monitors for my computer under there. You get creative whenever you live in a smaller house. If you know, you know. But now let's talk about what I plan to change moving forward. The number one thing is being a lot more intentional about what I bring into my home. And I know I've said this time and time again, but I think this time around, this was different because of the extreme measures I took going through the house this time. So I think it was a little bit more eye-opening at how much I have wasted. And I wouldn't say necessarily wasted because I do donate. It's not like I throw things away left and right. I give back. I'm not going to just toss something that can be given away. But it is easier for me and with my job to accumulate more than the average person. I'm constantly sharing new projects, new decorating videos, and I get a lot of sponsorships at times, and I get to, receive new things to share with y'all. I'm so grateful for that, but it has become one of those things where if you're not managing that lifestyle properly, it can quickly become out of control. So just being a lot more intentional with the brands that I work with, the products I bring in, how I manage it moving forward will be on my mind at all times. I also plan on doing the one in, one out method because that is, I think, the best way to keep the inventory at a minimum. And it's, once again, something I had not done in the past, which I do plan on implementing moving forward. It has also been a very long time since I've decluttered. Actually, the last time I decluttered, I shared with you guys, and that's been months and months and months ago. So yeah, definitely got to be sure to stay on some type of routine. And it really is not something that you just do once and you don't think about it again. You have to have maintenance. You have to create an ongoing habit, which is very hard to do. If you've ever tried to create a new routine in your life, you know how hard that is. So it's not going to be easy, but it's something that I am so determined to do because at the end of the day, the less stress, less overwhelm, easier cleaning, easier maintenance, a home that truly works better for our family is the ultimate goal. That is the goal. And I think this process, while it was hard, it was uncomfortable, it was 1000% worth it. And I hope that, if the declutter videos I shared individually didn't do it for you, didn't help you get motivated, I hope this one did. I learned so much and it really was eye-opening. Such a great experience that I think we all need to experience at some point, especially if things have gotten a little out of control. So use this as your motivation. Go turn those videos on, get some music playing, and start going through your house with me. I really appreciate you guys so very much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned. We have a lot more to work on. The carport is next. Oh boy, and I'm kind of thinking I might save that for the cooler months. I'm not 100%. Y'all let me know. Are y'all ready to see that, or should I wait till the fall time? It has a lot of like holiday decor, so it might be best to wait that out. Who knows? We'll talk about it. But once again, thanks for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.